28th of May, Larry Wheels versus Schoolboy. Right hand. Link below in the description. They are the undercard match to myself and Michael. In this vid, I'll talk about my thoughts about the Schoolboy Larry match, talk about where I think they're at, and maybe a little bit of strategy. So, when it comes to uh, Schoolboy, I feel like just awesome. Just amazing young arm wrestler whose trajectory is super steep and his fame is definitely merited. He's been competing all around the world at high level events, been practicing with great people, and he's been climbing the ladder of arm wrestling. I think he's like 2021 now, I think. Big kid. Big. Like, I remember last year, he was about my height. So I think he's like 6'5". And, still a very young. At that time, I felt like he was like 250. So, I mean, a year in an arm wrestler's life when they're 20 to 21. I mean, I won't be surprised right now if he's 260. I don't know what his weight is, but regardless, Schoolboy is becoming a big man. Um, Technically and experience wise, he's perfect. You know, there's no real problems with his outside game. Uh, Crisp top roller, very efficient. Not a lot of mistakes in the way he arm wrestles. I'd say that at this point in his career, he hasn't shown a ton of diversity. So normally when you see him win, he wins kind of the same way. Not that that's a bad thing at all. Just something to note that he seems to have a fighting style that is outside fighting style, and he's proficient in the straps. So, um, Larry Wheels, uh, icon of strength. This dude is, to say he's gifted with twitch is an understatement. He's like a gigantic sprinter. The guy moves so quickly in all his movements, doesn't matter what they are, and that will and is starting to translate over to the arm wrestling table. Experience wise, Larry is still like a baby. I feel like to say that he's got a year in the sport is generous. Now, what a year it's been. Larry has received training and guidance from the very best in the sport over the last year. He's His level of dedication um, really high, really high, um, but still uh, very green. You can start to see his advancement a lot. Like, you can really watch. When you watch Larry's videos, you can see him getting better and better and better. But there are still definitely a lot of very visible technical steps that he has still left to take until he's really proficient and comfortable. Um, Last time they arm wrestled, I think, what was that? Like, I don't know. I'm just gonna guess because my timing is all screwed up. I feel like it was maybe it was December or something like that. I don't know, December or January. I don't know. So it's been a while. So not that long. But at that point, Schoolboy was too much. Mostly right out of the gates, right in the setup, you could see that Larry was a little bit out of his element, which is not surprising. I mean, Larry hasn't even done a tournament, really. I don't think he's really even done a tournament. And there's a lot to be said for just those years in the sport. Just, taking those losses, going back for months and correcting the little weaknesses that got exposed, going back to that same opponent and taking that step up the ladder, step up the ladder, step up the ladder. It's great to have really, really good teachers, but sometimes your very best teacher is the guy who's just a hair ahead of you, and um, and you're trying to beat that guy. So sometimes it's easier to take steps by climbing a ladder instead of seeing where you got to go on the horizon. So with that being said, I do think that on the 28th of May, Schoolboy has got to still be the favorite. Age, uh, the speed at which they're improving has got to be similar, and there's still so much to learn. Um, Schoolboy has got to be the favorite. And so, from a technical perspective, going into the match, I mean, what I would tell Schoolboy is I would be like, be as loose and as crisp as possible and just blast for that pin line and don't make it long. Don't let it become physical. And for Larry has a few keys to victory as well. Obviously, the exact opposite. Every moment that it can become physical, he should take that opportunity. Because if I said Schoolboy had a weakness, I would say in comparison between the two of them, I would say it's conditioning and physicality. So if it can ever become a question of physicality and conditioning, Larry probably should cash that token. I think that when watching Larry arm wrestle, one of the things that I notice is he still sometimes has a tendency to hold on before he gets in the strap. He has to embrace the concept that the other person will hold on to him, and he cannot bend on that. Not until he figures out how to press, and he's not there yet. So I think that for the last few weeks, he has to get super comfortable in attaining that strap and not holding on whatsoever. Learn how to establish that post roll every time, because if he can stop that match, get a bite on that arm, we can see a match. And if that match gets stopped and it can become a question of physicality, there are not many people in the world who will be able to match Larry Wheels physically. So it's really interesting to me. It's not about who I want to win. Both these guys are superstars. Schoolboy's superstar. Larry Wheels, what a gift. I'm really excited to see the match. Really excited. Uh, and you never know on the day what's going to happen. So, anyways, links in the description. It's going to be a great, great day. I'm training hard. I'm going to crack that guy. Guaranteed.